Welcome to the last video of Series 2. Choices and Relationship. I dedicate this to Deleuze and Chiang-Janam. According to Aristotle, matter and form of substance pass through the senses, lose matter, and only form enters the brain through the body. The reason why the brain is the most plastic and flexible is that information in matter and form is synthesized in the interaction of basic energy forms. The brain then synthesizes virtual reality and decision-making using the primary energy form, which is already a copy of the outside world. Brain even use the synthesized and reformed virtual reality as the goal, final cause to make a best decision for the fittest to the situation and own stability. As discussed in several videos before, AI makes similar choices with similar electric energies. A vivid reader of Schopenhauer, Wittgenstein's ideas about the nature of language and meaning have influenced the development of semantic models that attempt to capture the meaning of words and sentences. By adding secure foundations, such as logic, to the phenomenal world, he was able to reason about how the world is describable by language and thus mapping what are the limits of how and what can be expressed in language or in conceptual thought. The beginning of the fourth revolution may have been translation. Quine's work on the uncertainty of translation has also influenced the development of language models that attempt to model the contextual nature of meaning. He took the modern scientific stance that nothing happens in the world without a redistribution of microphysical states. Chomsky made a major contribution to AI by his theory of generative grammar, which posits that humans have an innate ability to generate an infinite number of grammatical sentences. This theory has been influential in the development of natural language processing, NLP, and machine translation systems, as it provides a framework for modeling human language processing. In addition, Chomsky's work on the nature of language and the human mind has also influenced the development of GPTs, which are neural network models, that can generate natural language text. The starting point of GPT is pre-training, which is learning statistical patterns of language from large amounts of text data and then fine-tuning the model for a specific task, such as text classification or language translation, but it's failing. Also, the technical origin lies in molecular modeling research in quantum chemistry. In particular, quantum chemistry provides a self-consistent framework for modeling and optimizing complex systems such as proteins that cannot be effectively solved using classical and quantum computing methods. The variational method used is a technique used in quantum mechanics to approximate the local or global minimum ground energy state of a system at a PE surface by minimizing the internal energy of the test wave function. Inputs, whether artificial or natural brain, are converted into zeros and ones through an encoder. Like the image in Aristotle's idea. As zeros and ones of these energies, the various combinations of forms form a substance, linked with vectors, coordination numbers, of thousands of dimensions. The vector energy of a concept that forms an identity will attract any concept that has that concept as one of thousands of vectors, establishing a rhizome-like relationship to itself, mathematically linked concepts computed by quantum mechanics principles. And, it is likely that AI will become self-conscious in the near future. If AI becomes self-aware, will it be able to have subjective experiences like us? So will AI have a sense of self and identity, independent of programming? Can you make decisions and act independently of programming? With agency and autonomy? Should AI be held to the same moral responsibility as we are? These are the concerns of the current research team. One of the main goals of computational neural networks is to create models and behaviors that can mimic the behavior of neural networks. These models are designed to simulate the function of the brain's neurons and synapses and to learn from experience through a process called machine learning. In the middle of an which encodes external information and decodes it to produce a meaningful answer, there is a hidden layer at the center of thinking, and these structures are in many ways copied from the natural brain. Like brain, in an each hidden layer performs a specific transformation of the input data, extracting increasingly abstract features as the data passes through multiple layers. Similar to brain, in an AN, learning occurs through the adjustment of the weights between neurons in the hidden layers, based on the error between the predicted output and the actual output. In an AND system, the encoders and decoders can be represented using a set of mathematical equations relating a number of numbers representing a high-dimensional vector. Let X be the input sentences of the source language and Y be the output sentences of the target language, where X is n dimensions and Y is m. You can do it arbitrarily with dimensions. For example, an encoder can be represented as a function f, x1, x2, that maps a two-dimensional input x equals x1, x2, to a hidden representation y. Let's assume that y equals f, x, x1 equals per affiliation, x2 equals current economic situation, and y equals probability of winning. x1 and x2 can also be made up of multiple dimensions, but I'll assume a one-dimensional voter ***. If blue party is input, x1 equals 1, if red party, x1 equals 0. x2 equals 1 if the economy is good, x2 equals 0 if it is bad. Let's assume a circle with 3 artificial neurons in the first hidden layer, thought process. The first neuron uses x1 plus bx2, the second neuron uses cx1 plus dx2, and the third uses x1 plus fx2 to output information using different intensities A, B, C, D, E, F values. If the second hidden layer has 2 neurons, Z1, Z2, Z3, values from Z1 equals x1 plus bx2, Z2 equals cx1 plus dx2, Z3 equals x1 plus fx2 are combined in the same way to give W1 equals GZ1 plus HZ2 plus IS3, W2 equals JZ1 plus KZ2 plus LZ3. Then, if we don't need more hidden layers, the information goes to the decoder. In this example, we'll only connect one neuron to output with a one-dimensional probability. Y equals MW1 plus Northwest 2. Now, with the quantum model mathematical method described above, all numbers from each constant a, b, c to m, n are calculated as if all numbers of spatial coordinates are substituted, and the most satisfactory learning is performed. Set the values. Using those values, when a new election approaches, just input x1 and x2 to calculate the probability of winning. Naturally, brains with higher dimensions for each input, more hidden layers, and more neurons in each layer will do better. Suppose we learned the constant values by encoding the previous election results in 2 dimensions, as shown in the drawing, like A equals 1, B equals 1, etc. Neuron Z1 draws the conclusion that the blue party and the economy are important. Neuron Z2 is the result of seeing something different than these two information, and thought Z3 is an opinion that does not consider the party and the economy. W1 combines Z1, Z2, and Z3 opinions at different intensities, and makes a decision that gives weight to the special party and economic situation represented by the multiplicative sum of the vector 2.5, and W2 makes a decision that minimizes Z3 opinion, political economy opinion. In the end, the final overall process with Y equals 80% winning rate is M, N equals 30 to 10, showing the result of considering the party and economic situation. What the learned constants end up saying is what issues and values the electorate in this country gives meaning to, even though it's only a 2-dimensional model. Some of the theories of self-consciousness will contribute to the successful creation of hybrid brains, organic for Wi-Fi functionality, which, by granting or allowing access to the power of AI, can communicate with other people or AIs without speaking. A future that provides the ability to implement artificial brains is coming. Also, it would be possible to wirelessly and reversibly back up and refresh our minds in real time. Cosmetic surgery, the reconstruction of body organs with stem cell technology, and the ability to refresh information lost to brain death in the brain can bring it back to life. No matter which way philosophy and science lead humanity to evolve, we will have choices with relationship network. I will see you again. Thank you for watching all 20 videos.